Yes, guys, welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. This is FPL Insight. I'm Gianni, the FPL guy. I'm joined by Dean, as always, the football insider, but also a very special guest. Hello, happy Friday, Becky Ives from BT Sport, from the Premier League channel, almost like the West Ham correspondents this season as well.
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. That was a big introduction, was that? I was impressive. Thank you very much. Very kind. And like my West Ham correspondent, I have sort of followed them around Europe this season. I'm not sure if they're going to, people are going to start being called saying that I'm just following and stalking them around at some point soon.
At least we've got a proper Premier League insider now, Gianni. We can proper get insight here, mate.
Yeah, we'll have to. We're not going to be looking too much tonight at our predicted 11s, but if we were, I'd be getting Becky to go head to head with you, Dean. We'd be scoring points as to who's going to get the most 11s correct.
Mate, yeah, definitely back Becky. No, I did all right. I'll tell you what, my predicted team lineups are definitely better than my FPL season. So actually, no, I back myself on that.
It's a very fair point.
Yeah, no, it's not that hard, no.
We've got a new season in the not too distant come August, so I look forward to that. Guys in the chat, hello, welcome to you guys. I can see FPL Rivers with us, Hamid's with us, Desira's with us. Do join the chat, get your questions in. Tonight we have got a bit of a different show. We're going to be looking at our predictions for the rest of the season. So we're going to be looking at our top 4 predictions, our title race predictions, our relegation predictions, as well as still keeping some regular features like Against the Obvious, and of course, our FPL teams. And Becky, I'm looking forward to seeing your FPL team. You're on a wild card, aren't you?
I have wildcarded this one. International break, always a good time to do it, but I don't have any other chips left, so I don't have to worry about bench boosting and stuff like that, so I can have players that necessarily won't place on bench. So yeah, I always wildcard like at this point in the season. I always use it now and then just hope. It's all about as many people playing, getting as many points as we can, smashing it out to the end of the season.
And you take FPL fairly seriously, right? You're in a mini league at work with some of the Premier League guys that, I don't know, a lot of the guys in the chat might know from presenting the FPL show, like Jules and Kelly and James Richardson. You're in a league with these guys. How do you fare?
I am in a league with these guys. Let me tell you, the pressure of being in a league with these guys that do this. Like, I love FPL. I just love to play it. I feel like I'm more one of the people. And considering I am really good friends with all these absolute experts in this field, I feel like I should ask more questions than what I do to them. But yeah, we do. We've got a mini league. Kelly Summers, who presents, Jules Breach, obviously, Olivia Bazaglo, who also does a lot of FPL. We're all in this league together. In fact, it's sort of every presenter, producer, assistant producer, all the guys at work. And yeah, it's intense. I'm not going to lie. The pressure to do well in this league, because you just don't want to be the one at work to walk around being bottom of the league. Like, that's just, it's just not that cool. And we used to have a little trophy that was awarded. We did Manager of the Week and stuff like that. So there was always something to play for. The trophy sits on a little cabinet at work. And sometimes they would stick the face of the person that won on this trophy. So it's staring at you the whole time. And you're just like, man, I've got to win that at some point. So, yeah, no, it's good fun. People do take it very, very seriously, as they should. But there is also then a cohort of us that really want to do well, and we enjoy it, but I'm not quite as hardcore as potentially the guys that do this week in, week out.
The Gianni camp.
Yeah, Gianni's an expert.
Yeah, the guys that spend 8 hours a day, every day of the week, lose sleep over it, pull their hair out of it. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm one of them. But look, you talk there about sort of mini league success, and FPL is all about that. It should be about bragging rights with your friends, and that's something I think everyone in the chat watching at the moment can probably like agree on. Like, the beauty of FPL is just that Friday deadline, and then that Saturday reward, and then that Monday bragging rights with your mates. So yeah, look forward to talking more FPL later in the show, where we see Dean's and mine and Becky's teams. But first up, we're going to have a little look at some of our predictions. So let's have a look first at the first table in play. So Premier League table reads Man City top on 70 points and Liverpool second in 69. Look, the top 4 races tight. We know the bottom of the table is tight as well. But first, let's discuss that title race, because it really is a 2-horse race now.
Mate, I have just got this. I've backed Man City all season, and I could stay on that horse, of course. I'm tempted to jump off now and go on Liverpool. Like the momentum they've built up, the belief they've got.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I think I said it on here before, but like every time I watch both these teams, I feel like there's this anxiety among Man City, both the players, maybe not even so much the players, the fans 100% are just waiting for this team to slip up, it feels like. Liverpool, absolutely not. They are going to every game just waiting for that first goal to go in and then waiting for the second to just seal it. They are so confident at this moment. I think Liverpool fans out there will actually genuinely believe they can do a quadruple at the moment, the way this team are playing. Whereas City, I don't know, I've just got this weird feeling about them. It's not even like they've played badly yet. They haven't even had a blip, yet Liverpool are somehow catching them. I don't know how they're doing it when Man City aren't even losing games, but they're right up behind them now. Obviously, they've got the game to come in a couple of weeks. It's a big match. I don't necessarily think that's where it's decided, because I think there'll be a weird result or two still to come. But suddenly, I'm back in Liverpool.
Yeah, won their last 5. They've got the +5 on the goal difference on Man City. And we know, unlike other European leagues, the league can be won on goal difference, not head-to-head. Becky, let's have a look at the fixtures. Liverpool and City, they've both got, look, these teams usually look like they have favourable fixtures because they are better than everyone else. But looking at those fixtures, who do you prefer? Who are you backing?
Man City. Sorry, Dean.
No.
I'm going to go the opposite.
I support neither of them. I don't really care, but yeah.
I just don't think. Pep knows what he's doing. It's Man City team come up and they are big game players. The one fixture that sticks out for me, the awkward one for Liverpool for me. Look, you look at on paper and you're looking at these and you're thinking, okay, Liverpool, they should get the better of Watford. We'll see what happens with City. Everton, check. Newcastle, check. The one that sticks out for me is Southampton. I think that is going to be an awkward game. Now, I know that Southampton have lost a little bit of form recently, but when they are good, they are good. They are hard to break down. Their defence is incredible. They are the type of team that Liverpool could struggle to score against. I might be wrong. They might put 6 past them on the day. That also has happened before. But for me, Southampton sticks out in Liverpool's fixture list that I'm like, bit of an awkward one. The thing that's going for them is Southampton really don't have anything to play for this season. And it's the teams that have got things left to play for now that are going to be difficult. So I appreciate Manchester City have got Leeds. Again, something to play for, avoid relegation. So both teams are going to come up against potential banana skins. I just feel you should never write out Pep. This Man City side, they deal with pressure. They've won games on the last day of the season before. They know how to do it. So, and I think it's always better when you're Manchester City. It's like, do you want to be the hunter or the hunted? And it's fun for Liverpool to chase them down, but effectively they're not in control. Manchester City are. And I think you always have the slight advantage with the team who are in control. So I would back Manchester City.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I look at that running and think, other than the Liverpool game for City, all the others, are they going to go in 100% and win all the others? Possibly. Liverpool, I look at and think they could drop points to Tottenham. They could drop points to Southampton. Guys in the chat, let us know what you think. Are you back in Liverpool? Are you back in City? Daniel's saying City cruise through those fixtures easy. And look, guys, let us know the FPL assets you've got your eye on.
Easy. Like, that's just nonsense, isn't it? Like, they've just drawn 0-0 at Crystal Palace. Like, you'd have thought they would have cruised through that game. Like, this is the thing. We can look at these fixtures and predict them all, and like we'll get half of them wrong. It just does. This season just isn't playing out how we expected. And like, I take Becky's point about the Southampton being a tricky game, but on the flip, you could say, well, Man City go to West Ham. If West Ham are out of the Europa League by that point, it might be like a really big game for West Ham.
Okay, so let me interject here, Dean. I think West Ham now will put all their eggs in the Europa League basket.
But what if they still lose?
Then I think it's their best shot at Champions League football, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like West Ham are good, but they might not beat Lyon. So even if they are putting everything into it, I still think West Ham could lose that game. It's quite easy.
You could have said, well, West Ham might not beat Sevilla because traditionally that was a really hard game on paper.
No, totally, yeah.
So I don't know. I just think David Moyes now on West Ham will go. They're looking at the table. They're looking at where they are. They look at the teams around them, the fixtures that they've got coming in, and they're going to go Europa League or bust. They're going to finish in the top 7 regardless. So they're going to play Europa League or Conference next year.
Yeah.
They want Champions League. And I personally think that is their best fixture. So by the second to last game of the season,
they'll be on holiday.
Yeah. Maybe.
We do always look out for those beach teams. And look, the beach teams, those that are mid-table, they're not going down, they're not getting European spots. Sometimes we look at and go, we want to play them because they're on the beach. But other times, you get these beach teams come game week 37, 38, that actually it's a free swing. They can play slightly differently. They can really have a go. They can play with freedom. There's no pressure there. And I just wonder, West Ham will be that fixture.
Steven Gerrard is against Man City on the last day of the season. Like, so even if Villa are a mid-table team, it'd be like, lads, it'd be like, lads, I will literally give you money out my own pocket to win this game. Like, Liverpool need to win that. If it's coming down to that day, Steven Gerrard could make up for the day he cost Liverpool the title by slipping and actually win them the title against Man City. Can you imagine? So there's so many different things we could throw up.
Also,
here.
like Wolves on the last day of the season for Liverpool, they're fighting for European spots as well. So
yeah.
That could also be a really, really difficult game. I don't think any of these teams are going to be on the beach.
Yeah, it's a fair point. This is meant to be the greatest league in the world. Like, it is the greatest league in the world. We shouldn't see many beach teams. Guys in the chat, let us know what you think. Will we get players? Will we get teams that we think will be on the beach? Let us know if you're going Liverpool or City. I've gone City. Becky the same. Dean fancies Liverpool. Guys in the chat, also, if you can, do us a favour, give us a thumbs up. If you like the show, more people see it, more people watch. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Let's have a look next at some more of our predictions. Here we go. So, Becky, let's start with you. Our special Friday guest of the evening, and you can fill in the gaps as well. We've spoken about your winner.
Yeah, there's a gap there.
But let's talk about your top 6 predictions, because we've spoken about some of the teams that might be going for Europe. Well, let's assume you're going Liverpool 2nd, Chelsea 3rd. Who gets that 4th spot?
Arsenal. It's Arsenal's to lose for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I just think, look, then Arsenal fans, please don't come at me for this comment, but they're not playing in any other competition, all right? They don't really have the form that they're in now. They don't really have an excuse as to why it shouldn't happen. I think at the beginning of the season, let's just all remember how far Arsenal have come this season as well. I think there was a lot of people at the start of the season that were questioning the direction they were going in, what was happening at the club. So the progression that they have made, and I actually think it's a compliment to them that I'm saying it's theirs to lose, because some may say, well, they've overachieved massively this season because they've got such a young squad. You know, the players they've brought in have been bang on perfect. Aaron Ramsdale, 30 million. Everyone was like, what is going on? Why are we getting him? He's killing it. He's doing so well. And I think he's a massive part of the reason, and that back line, as to why they are in the position that they're in. So I actually think it's a compliment to Arsenal that it is theirs to lose. So for me, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal.
Yeah, I think Dean's with you. Dean, I don't think, I want to say I don't think Arsenal. I'm with you, Beck. Like, it's Arsenal's to lose. I've gone Spurs, but Dean, you're going Arsenal as well, aren't you, for 4th?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't on board with Arsenal at all at the start of the season. And I don't think barely anyone had Arsenal for a Champions League spot. Even the fact they didn't have European football, we didn't think this team had it in them to get this far. They've just come of age, really, and like they've found the midfield balance they needed. They got rid of Aubameyang. They've got the balance of the personalities right, as well as the actual playing style. And it's all come together at the perfect time, because you've still got such inconsistency among the teams around them. Man United, Tottenham, West Ham, Wolves, they just can't put the results together. And Arsenal smash out spells of 5 games, and then they lose one. But you know, ultimately their winning streaks have been ended by Man City and Liverpool. Like, you can forgive them that. As long as they bounce back, it doesn't matter, and they have. So yeah, Becky's right. It is Arsenal's to lose, and they need to make the most of it, because next season all the teams around them are going to be stronger. And this might be the last chance they get, if it passes, for another few years.
Yeah, fair point. I look forward to talking more about my prediction for top four. I'm going to offer something slightly different, but let's look at Becky's still and move on to relegation. So, look, Norwich and Watford, I'm guessing most in the chat will agree. And look, let us know. And good to see, by the way, the likes of FPL Focus, Graham in the chat. Hello, mate. I know you're a big Arsenal fan. You'll be pleased to hear Becky and Dean backing your boys. FPL Salah's with us. Got some big names in the FPL world in the chat. So thank you for joining us and do get your questions in. But you've got Everton, Becky, to go down. You're going Everton over Burnley and over Brentford and over Leeds, I guess.
I have, because I feel Everton are the team that haven't been in this position and potentially don't know how to deal with it the same way that the other teams know how to deal with it. You know, Burnley are, Sean Dyche, brilliant manager. Look, everyone's a brilliant manager, we start that. But Frank Lampard's never been in this relegation position. I don't even think as a player he was ever particularly in this position. This is a manager that at one point was top of the league with Chelsea this season. And he himself said, look, when you're top of the league, the only way is down type thing. So he understands all aspects of football, but I just feel it's all about momentum. And even though on paper, Everton's players, you look at the players and the standard of players and you think, how are they even down there? It's about momentum and confidence, I think, at this point of the season. And when you have lost as many as you have and you're sort of free falling and falling and falling, and then you've just had an FA Cup defeat, and then Frank's come out, and I don't know if he's trying a different tactic, but he was pretty, damning of his players and criticism, trying to get a reaction out of them. And I just feel like it's almost like they need a big reset button to Everton in all aspects, from top to bottom. And I feel that reset may come because they may slip. And I can't even believe I'm saying these words, but Everton slipping out the Premier League would be huge.
It would be one of the biggest stories I've ever seen.
Yeah, it would be. It would be unbelievable. But I think at this stage, it's about momentum and confidence. And I don't think they have it. Whereas I feel Leeds have got new manager bounce that, they're pulling stuff out of the bag now. Brentford will be fine. Sean Dyche is a fighter, a couple of games in hand, knows what he's doing. So for me, it's Everton.
Wow, it would be a massive story, wouldn't it? Dean, Everton, they've been all right under Lampard at home and they've been terrible away. They've been terrible all season away. I think they've had 2 away wins and one was against Huddersfield in the Cup. Can their home form see them through? In the Premier League at home, they've still got to play United, Leicester, Chelsea, Brentford and Palace. It's not the easiest run of home games.
Yeah, I don't really think it matters who they've got at the moment. I mean, they only won that other home. I thought their home form would save them, but that other game they only saved because someone chained himself to the goalpost for 15 minutes and they got like a load of added time. Like, it's the only reason they had time to come up with a goal. That's unfortunately not going to happen for them every week. And they've got a Burnley game coming up, and that's massive. Going to Burnley, like if you lose at Burnley, you're going down. They're in big trouble. I mean, the way the club's been run is absolute shambles. They've spent so much money in recent years, and they just keep pressing reset. It's like they're playing FPL. They're just like, oh, wildcard it. Let's just sign 6 more players and just try something new. Let's get a new manager. Like, you can't do that. You're in the Premier League, lads. So you'll see my prediction in a minute. I haven't gone for Everton, but I totally understand where Becky's coming from.
Yeah, you make very good points for Everton, and a lot in the chat do seem to agree. Becky, top scorer Salah doesn't need too much airtime, but top assist is an interesting one. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm bargaining on Trent being a bit injured. I don't know how long he's out for. So someone has to step up for Liverpool and start locking in these assists if Trent isn't there. And
Robbo will be on corners, right? With no Trent in the team, Robbo's corners at the end of last season was brilliant. He clocked up loads of assists from corners.
Exactly. So that is my reason why I've gone for that, because Liverpool, to win this title, need goals. Goals need an assist. If Trent's out, Robbo's in. There we go.
Yeah, fair. And a word on Salah. He's on pens. He plays every minute pretty much. I know he's had a few knocks recently, but he's head and shoulders above everyone in terms of goals, isn't he, this season?
I mean, he went to AFCON and he's still head and shoulders above everyone else. He missed games and people haven't caught up. I think Harry Kane's poor start to the season has had a detrimental effect now. I think he's 8 goals behind Salah. I think Salah's 20 and he's on 12.
Yeah, it's quite far ahead, yeah.
So I think that's too much of a gap to catch up. And Salah knows what he's doing. Liverpool need goals. He'll be the man to get them in. Plays all the time. I don't see it going anywhere else.
Yeah, fair point. Okay, let's move on and have a look at Dean's predictions and see if there's any similar patterns or if he's gone completely against Becky here. Here we go. We've spoken about winning the league. I think you did go Liverpool to win the league, didn't you?
Now you've got back to me.
I don't think this is but I don't think these are my predictions because I've also got Arsenal fourth, to be honest with you. So I'm going to.
Hang on, are they mine?
I think they might be yours because that is not mine.
I think they might be mine.
That is not. I know I'm flaky, but I'm not that flaky. It was only 5 minutes ago.
Shall I run through mine very quickly and then we'll come on to yours, Dean? So look, top four. Oh no, we might be. Okay, here we go. These are yours, Dean, are they?
Yeah, they just got the names the wrong way around. It's fine. So yeah, top six. I've Man United and Tottenham 5th and 6th. I don't think that's a massive surprise. I don't think most people will be that shocked by that. Like, it's bad news for Man United, obviously. Like, that shouldn't be happening on the back of a season when you've signed Varane and Ronaldo and you've got Sancho in, and that's a bad season, whichever way you look at it. But I think it's pretty reasonable now that that's the way it ends up. Obviously, the controversial part is Liverpool winning the league. And the relegation, my difference to Becky is the Burnley factor. I just don't think they're very good. And Weghorst hasn't scored the goals I was expecting. I don't actually have a top assist as Salah. That's incorrect too. I've said Trent. And Trent has actually posted a picture from training. I think I said on here last week that Trent does hope to be back after the international break. And I don't know if he'll play in that first game back because... Is it Watford first game back?
Yeah, it's Watford in 31.
Like, you can beat Watford without Trent, but the rest of the games, like, they need Trent, and I think he'll be back for them. So ignore the Salah assist, even though he probably is capable of that.
He's posted a photo of himself training, is he, Dean? I've missed that. Is he?
There was a post of him. I think it was
training alone in the gym or something.
Hey, yeah, there was a picture of him putting in work. Yeah, there was a picture of him putting in work. I think it wasn't him. Yeah, he posted it. Yeah, so. If he's posting that, he's confident.
The one thing I will say, though, there are always smoke screens with this type of thing. People will play it down and say they're doing better than what they are. It's all mind games and stuff like that. Believe me.
Yeah, true. Mind games. And you guys are people that are in and around these football clubs. You interview the players. You're in press conferences. So I completely get that. And great to get both of your stance on that. Relegation, just quickly to touch on. Dean went Burnley. Becky went Everton. I just also want to get Becky's view on that top four outside of Arsenal. Dean's gone for United in 5th, Becky. United missing out on top four is pretty huge, no?
Massive, but unsurprising. Like, literally unsurprising. I think there's clearly been some disjoint going on right now. There's quite a lot of noise off the pitch when you just wish it would be on the pitch. I'm no football manager. Ralph Rangnick clearly is a fantastic person and coach. He's always great with the media, so you definitely cannot say a bad word about him. But I don't know if it's helped naming an interim manager to the end of the season, knowing that somebody else is going to come in. It was almost just, I don't know, it felt like maybe United were just buying time. And it was just kind of like, okay, well, let's just see what happens to the end of the season. I'm not entirely sure if it's worked.
It was a rubbish idea, wasn't it? It was a stupid idea.
I don't want to say that. But
you went for the Premier League, so you're being a bit cautious, but it was a stupid idea.
I just think it's back.
And then he's choosing the next manager. Why? Why is he choosing the next manager? It's like, I wasn't good enough, but I'll pick someone else who might be. No, just go.
The amount of pressure on United now to get this manager right because of the strategy that they have taken with this is immense.
Yeah.
It's also then you start next season, and whoever does come in, whether it be Ten Hag, whether it's going to be Poch, I think those two are still the front runners for this. Yeah, all right, these men can deal with pressure, but I think it adds unnecessary pressure that if they don't win every game, you don't get top four. Well, then it's seen as an epic failure, and it's like sometimes these people are human, and these players are human, and you physically can't win every game, but if they don't, well, everything everybody's been leading up to with United is, it's all on the new manager. Wait till the new manager comes in. It's just like, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, from what I've heard, the United players want Pochettino, but the directors and board want Ten Hag.
Well,
That's not going to work. The problem is the players and the player power that exists. And if they get Ten Hag in and the players don't like him, they won't play again. Like we keep seeing it again, and they'll start with the leaks again. Like, just get Pochettino. Just go and get him. Like, they knew for ages what the compensation was. 10 million. Go and give it to him. Like, get him out his contract if you have to, if they're not going to release him themselves. Just get it done. Get Harry Kane to come with him, and you'll be fine.
And then take Declan Rice from West Ham. Bam.
Yeah. There you go. Get Pochettino, Kane, and Declan Rice, and you'll be all right next season.
Get us in that boardroom.
If it was only that simple. I'm feeling a bit of passion coming from you guys when we talk United. Look, United are obviously, like, everyone enjoys chatting United. And Dean was at Old Trafford a few weeks back. He mentioned his dad's a United fan. Becky, where are you from in the UK? Are you kind of that northwest way? Is United one of your local teams, maybe?
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
I thought we were close to getting a slip up of we earlier when you were mentioning United, just throwing it out there. But obviously, you guys being pros, working at a lot of different Premier League teams, you support all 20 Premier League teams, and
of course you do. Apart from Man City and Liverpool,
you're allowed to have, the team that you've supported since you were a child. It's the reason why we're all doing this job. Do you know what I mean? So
I actually have an issue sometimes. There's quite a few journalists who refuse to name the team they support.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I find it a bit weird because people have more respect for you if they understand that you've been and watched football and you grew up they want to know what your background was, and they might accuse you of bias here and there, but actually typically you go the other way when it's the team that you support. Like, whenever I was reporting on Fulham and stuff, I'll go the other way and I'll just be harsh on them, because I don't want to be seen in the other way. So I find it a bit weird.
It is you can be neutral. Do you know what I mean? You can be watching the game. And I think what people don't realise when you're watching a game and you're working, when you're working at a game, you watch it in a very different way from when you're a fan at a game. It's a completely different thought process. It's a completely different, well, it is for me anyway, just a completely different, you're there because you love it, but it's your job. So at the end of the day, you've got to do your job, and doing your job involves being neutral. And you watch it in a completely different way to what you do when you're a fan. Totally.
I'd love to have watched Italy in a very different way last night, but the less said about that, the better.
I forgot about that. I was going to wind you up, and I totally forgot.
Oh, I shouldn't be bringing it up. What am I doing?
Not really. No.
Let's move on to my predictions, shall we? I think this is going to read as Dean's, but these are actually mine. So, okay, City, we mentioned my reasons there. I've gone for a very bold shout as for fourth, and Spurs are some way behind. They would have to win. I don't know how many games they've got left off the top of my head. I think they maybe got 9 games left to win 8 of them. I think if they win 8 games, I think they get top 4, because I think Arsenal will slip up a couple of times.
A massive call.
It's a massive call.
Do you think that Tottenham will be consistent enough to win that many games?
I'm just backing Conte, and I know his Spurs teams have been leaky, but against West Ham, they were so comfortable, and West Ham, of course, scored from a set piece, and it was a bit out of nowhere. I'm looking at Spurs thinking they can start getting clean sheets again. And if they can, they're scoring goals galore. And look, their fixtures, they're all winnable. Liverpool away, sure. Arsenal at home, a bit of a 6-pointer. Other than those 2 games, and I know on paper to say they're winnable, and then in real time, a trip to Villa Park, a trip to Brentford isn't easy. I still think they win all those football matches. Because I'm such a big Conte fan, I make, I shout from the rooftops that he's my favourite manager in world football. I just back Conte, and I think it's possible. I wanted to offer a bit of a difference of opinion. Of course I did. Arsenal were strong favourites. If I was spending my own money at the bookies on top 4, I probably would go Arsenal, but I think it's very achievable for Spurs. Kane and Son, smashing it. If they keep clean sheets, they can beat Arsenal in a 6-pointer. They lose to Liverpool. They win the other 9 or win the other 8. I think they get top 4. It'd be an amazing story, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Can you imagine if they got top 4, Everton got relegated? We wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah. I guess the question might come down to, they could win all those games. They could win 8 out of 9 and still not get top 4, because Arsenal still on an unbelievable run. And Dean and Becky have spoken so well about Arsenal and why they will probably get top 4. And look, they're deservedly favourites. I've gone United. I've gone United 6th. I think United are just going to fall away again. They're going to continue to drop points. And then, look, relegation. Everton, a couple of weeks back, I said Brentford, and then they went and won 2 games, didn't they? They went and won 2 back-to-back. Tony got like 5 goals in 2 games, 3 pens. So now I've got Burnley in there, but I just wonder if Sean Dyche will have enough, because I look at managers often, like I've looked at Conte over Arteta. I probably should go Dyche over Lampard, but I just look at the team and think Everton surely cannot go down. And then look, top scorer, picks himself, and assists kind of picks himself if he's fit. Like, we should speak a bit about Trent. He's 8.5 million. FPL has never seen a defender start a season at more than 8.5. I think Leighton Baines started at 8.5 one year, and I think John Terry did one year. I may be wrong. It may have even been 8, but I think they're 8.5. Next year, we could see Trent starting the season at 8.5 or even 9. And if he was 9 million, Dean, he'd be in your team, right?
Yeah, you'd have to be, wouldn't he? Otherwise, you're going to be behind straight away. So, I can't take any more gambles like that.
Yeah, Becky, you'd spend that money on defenders. Like, there's been a lot of talk in the FPL community. Like, some of the defenders are like, especially for teams like Chelsea and Spurs that play with wing backs, should Marcus Alonso and Reece James be listed as midfielders? I can't see FPL really like categorizing it, but there's an argument to say that maybe there needs to be some tweaks.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they will. Who was the player? I'm trying to think. I feel like last season they were lifted. Was it John Lundstrom of Sheffield United?
Yeah. He was listed as a defender, and he was a midfielder. And then I think they changed him after a season.
They did change him,
because everyone cocked up the point because they realized
everyone had him. It was actually pointless having him because everyone had him.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, I would 100% absolutely. I mean, they're not going to change that. I think it's just like the new systems in football, if you know what I mean, the way these teams are playing and the way that they all set up now. Football's evolving. I don't know. Maybe the game will have to evolve with it, with the new systems and with everything that is happening with it. But I don't see it changing for the time being. And absolutely. Premium asset at the back. You're never going to leave him out, no matter how much it costs.
Yeah, agreed. I'll pay whatever I have to get Trent in my team next year if he's fit. Let's do some quick fire questions, guys. You've been getting your questions in. We have been seeing them. We'll answer a couple in very quick fire fashion. I'll come to you first, Dean. Can KDB be a good captain option over Salah if you're trying to gain rank, says Graham, FPL Focus?
No. I
wouldn't go there.
I don't think I would. No, I mean, I don't think we've seen the form in KDB to back that up so far.
Yeah.
We know what he's capable of, but like the role that he's playing in this team, he'll have a couple of games that he is decisive in and will get big points in those games. But in terms of consistency, for what you get from Salah, I don't think you can. No, I wouldn't be doing it.
It would be very bold. Graham, FPL Focus, isn't scared of a differential shout. He's been having some very rogue captain calls in the last few weeks, but for me, betting against Salah would be a very brave manager. Let's come to you, Becky, for the next one. Mohammed, who is top of the Chasing Green Arrows mini league, or maybe second. He's definitely top 2.
Yeah, he was knocked down by someone who joined last week or something, wasn't he?
Beginners
it's extremely harsh. Yeah.
So at the moment, the PlayStation 5, the PS5 is close, but not quite there, Mohammed. Who's your manager of the season and player of the season till now, Becky?
Manager of the season till now. It's going to have to be between one of the top 2, either Pep or... I actually think manager of the season till now, you should say Pep because he's on top, and I do think that they will win it. But what Jurgen Klopp is currently capable of with that squad and how he's caught up, because City were 14 points ahead at one point and you thought this is game over. And as we said, City aren't even slipping up, and I'm not really sure how Jurgen is managing to keep up there. And the amount of games they played, the rotation that he has within that squad, and he just knows exactly who to play at what time. For me, Jurgen is definitely manager of the season. However, I might change my mind of that. If Arsenal get top 4, it might go to Mikel. And if Conte makes it into the top 4 with Tottenham, it might change again between them. But I suppose till right now, I'd probably say Jurgen. Player of the season. Who would I say has been player of the season? I mean, consistency. You just look to all the top teams, don't you? The Liverpool boys. The usual suspects, Salah, fantastic. I know he's really new, but I really like Kulusevski. I think he's.
Yeah.
I literally know he's been a couple of weeks here or whatever. So I really think Kulusevski has come, and it's not easy to join a league, especially the Premier League, and settle so quickly. We see time and time again. Some people take time, but he's just gotten straight in there, and I think he's doing brilliantly. So he's like my newest player of the season, but otherwise Salah.
Yeah, 21 years old as well to hit the ground running. Dean, I'll come to you for FPL Rivers question before we have a look at our teams coming up. And then, of course, guys, stay tuned because we've got Against the Obvious before 8 o'clock. FPL Rivers asked, if we're looking at one Leicester midfielder in the doubles, Dean, Barnes or Maddison? Maddison played right of a front three last time out in Rodgers' kind of 4-3-3. Mads isn't fitting in that three in the middle. He's playing Tielemans and Didi and Dewsbury Hall starting every game. So Maddison's become a sort of wide forward in recent weeks. Would you go him or Barnes?
Still prefer Barnes. It's a little bit cheaper. I think a little bit better at the moment. Like Maddison might be like a better all-round footballer, like if you were to actually sign someone in real life. But like for right now in FPL, I think Barnes would be the guy I would be going to. Yeah, I think they're pretty sure that he's only owned by like 4% or something as well, Barnes. Wow. Which is really low considering like he's going to be a key part of that Leicester team. They've got to have a pickup of results before the end of the season. Like it's been awful for them. Like they need to at least end this season well. Brendan Rodgers will demand that. And I think that if they do end well, then Barnes will be quite pivotal to it.
Yeah, 9% owned Maddison, 4% owned Barnes. So yeah, I think Barnes for the differential status of it. One thing to watch out for, guys, game week 33 is, of course, a double for Leicester. It's an all right double, 2 away games, but just bear in mind it's part of 4 games in 10 days, of which 3 are away and 1 of them is a trip to Holland. Like I just look at those 4 games and bearing in mind they play twice a week before that 10-day period and think, which players can we absolutely say are nailed to play in all of those? Kasper Schmeichel? Other than that, I'm not so sure. So just be careful in your Leicester assets if you are bringing them in for 33 only. But look, they're owed tons of fixtures. Leicester are going to get loads of doubles. It's not a bad strategy to be looking at that Leicester midfield. Go on, Dean.
It's time to see Becky's team, I think. I saw straight away at the start, someone was like, we want to see Becky's wildcard. And I reckon it's time to see that.
Come on, then.
Here we go.
Gianni's going to go through this with a tooth comb now and pick it apart.
I know.
It's looking good. I like the look of that wild card. Becky, talk us through it. Go on.
Okay. Aaron Ramsdale, please get back from injury ASAP, Rocky, because you've been brilliant. So he's my premium. And then, look, Foster as a backup. I don't think you can go wrong with that. I think Cancelo, Trent, Doherty pick themselves. I really like Cody. He's Mr. Reliable back there, so that's why I picked him. And then I've just kind of gone for now. Look, you'll see there's a lot of Tottenham and Arsenal, and I've gone for like the reliables. They're going to play. Hopefully, they're going to get goals and assists with Saka, Salah, Kulusevski, Martinelli. Harry Kane picked himself, and that Weghorst. Now, I know you said, Dee, that he hasn't been scoring the goals that you wanted to, but I have faith. This is his moment. All these people have got something to play for in this team now.
Nice. Yeah, no, he's a good player. Like, he should be scoring goals. Like, he's getting, he'll get chances and 2 games at home. Like, I don't blame you for going for him at all. Someone did say in the comments, why no Chelsea players, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about it. Kai Havertz is like, I don't know, would you call him a differential, Gianni? Kai?
Yeah, I think he still is. And I'm with FPL Harry here. I was going to say the same thing. Harry is also a Chelsea fan. I was going to say, where's Kai? We'll get Kai
they are the Chelsea boys.
And I debated it. I did debate it. I thought about it. But in the end, I left him out.
Look, I mean, arguably Chelsea are going for, like, the priority is Champions League. Like, top 4 is sewn up. And you are targeting players with everything to play for in the Premier League. And Chelsea aren't one of those teams.
Exactly. And I looked at players like Reece James as well. But I can't guarantee that he'll play. So for me, I want players that I know are going to play towards the end of the season. That's no disrespect to Chelsea in any way, shape or form. But I think their rotation might be a bit higher than other players. And I just didn't want to take that gamble.
Yeah, that's fair. I did a wildcard draft yesterday for the FPL show, and it's a very similar looking team. I'm not going to lie. Like, I had Martinelli and Saka. I think Martinelli at 5.3 million. The way Arsenal are playing, they look like they're going to score goals. I know I've said I'm going Spurs top 4. I had Kane, Doherty, Kulusevski in. The only one that sticks out for me is I don't personally like the Cody pick, just because I don't think Wolves have got the doubles. And perhaps you could go to a 4.5 with the doubles. I'd probably rather a Burnley defender, just because the amount of fixtures they're owed. But yeah, good team, Becky. Let us know if
I'm taking notes as you're talking.
Let us know the changes you make. Perhaps you can you'll put a tweet out pre-deadline, and Chasing Green Arrows can share it for your confirmed. Because look, when we're on wildcard, guys, and you in the chat all know this, you make a lot of changes as the days pass, right? My team, I don't have a wild card, unfortunately. I've got 2 free hits left. I've got a transfer to make. I still don't know exactly what I'm doing, and my transfer this week has to be aligned to my plans in game week 33. And guys, you should be thinking the same. What are you planning in game week 33? Are you looking at bench boosting? Do you have a free hit left? And if you don't use a chip and you're not free hitting or bench boosting in 33, you probably need to be bringing in players that you know are going to be doubling, right? So Burnley, for example, yes, it's Burnley, but they have 2 doubles in the next 3 game weeks. I might use my transfer to sell Kilman to Taylor or Roberts, right? Just fodder for the bench, bring him in when he has doubles. So that's probably my plan for the next couple. And then I might use my free hits at the end of the season in 36, which will hopefully be a massive double. And maybe on 38, the last day of the season. What do you reckon, Becky?
Oh, sorry, say that again.
What do you reckon to the team? It's in all right shape.
It is. I think that's yeah. I mean, this is why you're so good at this. I think you're an expert for this. I know you've got Kai there. For me, I think it was also about money. Rafinha is an interesting one, because he was in my side and I took him out.
Yeah, I don't. I think if I was on wildcard, I wouldn't have him. Dean, would you?
Maybe just because. Maybe because I feel like he's probably going to leave, and I think like he does love Leeds. I think he'll want to get out of a bang. So I still think there's a possibility that he does end the season really well. But I know what you mean. Like, you could toss a coin, really.
I think I might sell him in 33 because he is a blank fixture.
Yeah.
And I'll swap him for a double. But the next 2, Southampton and Watford, I want a bit of that. Nice fixtures. And look, Leeds with the new manager, a bit like with Bielsa, they still look like they're going to score goals in every game, which is quite nice. Okay, let's move on now to Dean's team finally. Dean, what's your plan loosely for the run-in?
Delete the app. No. What is my plan? Mate, I don't have a plan. Like, that's the part of the problem. Like, I look
week by week.
I don't look beyond like the next game week. Well, at the moment,
you put your faith in Lacazette.
I blame my kids.
He's a big Lacazette fan, aren't you, Dean? You backing Lacazette this season?
Becky, you need to go and look at the stats and see that Lacazette gets 5-6 points every week. Yeah, it's a punt. But Arsenal chasing top 4, and he's their only striker, and he takes pens.
Yeah.
So, like, Arsenal, if they're going to have a big end to the season, like, Lacazette's going to be playing every single match. They've only got the Premier League to play in. He takes pens. He'll score a couple of other goals. Like, I think you can trust him. Yeah, look, the team, we can forget the team. They've moved it off the screen for a reason. They're doing nothing.
We're thinking of the channel's credibility here. 30 seconds on. Good stuff, guys. If you've got questions, get them in. Don't forget, if you are watching and haven't given us a thumbs up already, please do hit that like button and do, of course, subscribe if you don't already. Good to see so many new faces tonight, as well as the likes of Nuclear Atoms is with us. Hello, mate. FPL River. Have I seen Luke pop in this evening? I'm not too sure. But guys, we are going to be moving on now to I think it's our final feature of the evening before we take some questions. And as always, we will be doing a comment of the stream. So think creatively with some of your comments. Be nice. But let's move on now to Against the Obvious. Here we have it. We're starting with Antonio. Becky, I'm going to throw to you for that timer. As soon as you see the timer running, tell us why you shouldn't pick Antonio.
Okay, if you've got a West Ham asset, take them out, I'm afraid. I think now that they are going to put all their eggs in the Europa League basket. Yes, they're still going to play Premier League games, but I just don't feel they've quite got the strength and depth. I think Antonio, he had that slight scare just a couple of weeks ago where he got the small injury. Luckily, it was only small. He then came back in the Europa League and ended up managing to get through 120 minutes of football, which was fairly incredible. But I just think the legs that these guys are going to have to play midweeks and the weekend, for me, I just think they're going to start to fall away a little bit in the Premier League. They're going to put all their eggs in the Europa League basket to get top four. It's the only way they're going to do it, by winning the Europa League. So for me, Antonio, take him out. He's not been that prolific in front of goal. There are much better options up front. So we love you, Michael Antonio, but bye-bye from fantasy football.
Oh, that is a very good sell. Well done, Becky. Dean, he's 30% owned, Antonio. There must be a lot of dead teams out there with him in from maybe the start of the season.
Presume that's changing after the break, though. Like maybe people are just waiting. Like, you can't be keeping him beyond this point. Becky's right. There's no chance.
He hit the ground running, didn't he? Start of the season.
He did. I mean, you shouldn't have even still have in your team anyway, to be honest. He hasn't scored for about 8 months.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on now to Dean's against the obvious. And Dean, as soon as this flashes on, the timer's going to start. So we'll throw to the clip and then you're off. Let's have a look.
Okay, yeah. So Antonio Rudiger. Look, Chelsea's next game back is against Brentford. So you can probably keep him in for that one because he will give you a clean sheet points. But after that point, obviously the Champions League kicks in. Chelsea up against Real Madrid, a double header. They got Southampton in between. From this point on, I'm just like, well, Chelsea are in the top four now. They're not going to fall out of there. I'm not sure exactly what their backline is going to look like. I'm not sure the shape of it. I'm not sure what the personnel is going to be. We saw a couple of weeks ago Rudiger didn't play. I think there might be a week or two when Rudiger doesn't play in the Premier League from here on out, just because they've got the FA Cup to win and they've got the Champions League to win. I do think they'll beat Real Madrid, so I think they'll even progress towards the semi-finals too, which means there'll be more fixtures to come in. Also, at £6.1 million, like if I was going to have a Chelsea defender, I'd pay 6.2 for Reece James once he's back. I'd take that instead because Rudiger's unlikely to score, unlikely to assist. It's a great player, having a great season. But I think his time's come to get him gone.
Good job. Yeah. Very good argument against.
It's a bit of a punt. It's a bit of a punt.
He is popular as well. Like
yeah,
FPL
he's very
community,
popular.
A lot have got Rudiger. He plays most minutes.
He's in my team.
You know what? When that popped up, I was like, we just looked at your team and he's like bang in the centre back.
The thing is, I'm a curse because whoever I back for this goes on does really well. So I've put him in there. I'm just going to keep him in my team for the rest of the season. He'll do great.
It's a fair point. Becky, you haven't gone Chelsea defence. If you were, you would you go for the upside of Reece James despite probably more rotation, or would you go for the safety of Rudiger?
No, I'd probably go Reece James.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Reece James for me. Dean made some excellent points there on Rudiger, but I put my eggs in Reece's basket.
Yeah. Guys in the chat, let us know what you're thinking to Rudiger. FPL Focus says Rudiger to Juventus, which what is a strong transfer room. I read that in the Gazzetta dello Sport in the week. Dean, I should ask you your thoughts on Rudiger because he was heavily linked with Real Madrid. He's been linked with Barca in the past. Juventus obviously love a free transfer. Whoever gets Rudiger is getting a freebie, but sky-high wages and probably a significant signing on fee.
Yeah, he's still weighing things up. I mean, the biggest offers he's got at the moment are from PSG and Real Madrid. Interestingly, like the whole fallout with Chelsea might act with Roman Abramovich might actually still save the club in terms of keeping him on under the hierarchy as it was. He was definitely leaving. Like without going into details, there have been not major fallouts, but there's just been issues with the contract. And because the things are going to be changing, there have been potential new owners in touch with his agent, just being like, if we get this club, we will give you what you want and we will sign that contract. So if this takeover goes through soon, whoever it is, I've got a feeling they might throw big money at Rudiger to try and persuade him to stay. And if the money's big enough, he might, yeah.
Hope he does. He's been brilliant. Okay, let's look at who I've gone for this week. It's not a Chelsea player. It's not a West Ham player, but I have looked to Old Trafford. The team I, of course, love to hate, and that is look, Bruno Fernandes. 129 points this season, which isn't too bad. Look, he's not hit the dizzy heights of years gone by, but look, the handball rule has changed. We've seen fewer penalties this season, and Bruno, therefore, isn't going to benefit. He's sharing pens with Ronaldo anyway. You've got to spend £11.6 FPL pounds to get Bruno in your team. Now, look, for that money, you could have any Man City midfielder. You could have affordable Liverpool assets like Jota, like Diaz. These guys are going to outscore Bruno. I just can't predict Man United fixtures at the moment. I don't know how many goals they're going to score in any given week. There was a time we could bank on United scoring 2-3. Not anymore. If you go for United midfielder, save the money and go Sancho for me. And if you want a big premium asset that you give the armband to, you probably go Ronaldo. Bruno, not for me. There
big
we
shout,
go.
big shout. I mean, look, of all the any other time, like this would be like ridiculous, but the first time ever, you probably can afford to. I mean, it just it's just come out today that he's signing this new contract for 240 grand a week, which if he's signing a new deal, which it sounds like it's pretty much done, he needs to start proving that straight away he's worth that. So that was the only thing I'd say against this, is that we might see, if a new contract is announced and it's £240,000 a week, we might see a different Bruno for the last stage of this season. So that's the only thing I've got in the back of my mind on that.
Yeah, playing for a contract is one thing I wrote years ago about bringing in FPL assets, and those that are playing for contracts and you just see a little spike in their performance. At the time of writing, I think Sterling was about to sign a new deal and he went and scored like back-to-back hat-tricks. And I was like, this isn't a coincidence. This can't be.
Exactly.
Good stuff, guys. Thank you if you're still with us. It's been a brilliant show so far, but we've got a little bit of time. We've got a couple of minutes to go through some questions. So FPL focus, I'll come to you, Becky, on this one. Which relegation battling player scores the most points between now and the end of the season? Who are you backing?
Sorry, say that again. Which relegation
threatened player? So I guess your Burnley players.
Oh, I gotta go with Weghorst.
Go with Beggy.
I'm backing him. This is his moment. I'm telling you, this is his moment. The guy, look, he's got goals in his locker. He's proved it. He's fitted in really well. If we can get him and Maxwell Cornet up there together, that's who I'm gonna stick with. Weghorst. I've put him in there. I'm gonna back him till the end.
Yeah, fair point. Dean, if you had Weghorst, would you captain him in game week 31, knowing he has a double? I mean, Everton and Burnley are the only two with doubles. Yeah,
because why not? Like, he is going to score at some point. He is a really good player, and he's scored a lot more goals in Germany before now. So if he does finally hit the net, he'll probably then go and score in the next game as well. So, yeah, do it. Yeah, I'm with you. Weghorst, by the way, I think his record was 1-2 in Germany at Bremen. Like, he's very, very good goal scorer. Second to only Lewandowski in terms of goals per games. Nuclear Atoms has asked, any thoughts on getting Mateta as a cheap bench option since Palace have a nice run-in and a double to be rearranged? The wildcard draft I did yesterday, my budget forward was Mateta. He's 5.2, but that's the same price point as Broja. Becky, who would you go with, Broja or Mateta? I mean, you've gone Broja at the moment.
Yeah, I know, but now looking at that, I wish I'd gone Mateta.
Still can.
Yeah, I might change.
Get rid of Broja. Get rid of Broja. He's a loser. Ever since I picked him, he's been a loser.
Vieira's getting a tune out of all his players, and Mateta is one of those. So yeah, actually, I would definitely pick Mateta.
Yeah, I spoke to someone at Palace the other day just to find out, because we keep reading rumours about Palace signing a new striker, and I was like, are they actually going to sign like a £40 million new striker? Like, they were linked with Andre Silva, and I was like, seems a bit out there. And they were like, they're really, really hopeful that Mateta is the man. So on the basis of that, Vieira needs a number 9 out of this team right now, and it's going to be him to the end of the season.
Yeah, he's definitely flavour of the month. Let's have a look at our next question from FPL River. Dean, I'll come to you first on this. Can't afford Robertson as his third Liverpool player. So you've probably got Salah and Trent, right? Most have. Would you go Matip? He's pretty nailed when fit. He's cheap, doesn't score goals, but he did get a worldie assist the other week. 5.4, I think.
Don't really see the point of taking him. Like, you don't have to have another Liverpool player. Yeah, I wouldn't really. No, I don't see him as a great FPL asset, and because they've got so much still to play for in other competitions, like, you just don't know how it's going to play out. Like, if Konaté was to get injured if he was to get a knock, and they might rotate things with Kenyatte in the Premier League and the Champions League, you know which way round that's going to come. Bit of a gamble sticking him in.
Yeah, I don't think he's one for me either. I'd look at the upside and go, that third Liverpool asset, when you get the double game weeks, maybe you want a punt on a Jota or a Diaz or even a Mane, and therefore you leave that third
Get
Liverpool
Diaz.
spot through.
Man, he's unreal.
You're a big Diaz fan, aren't you? Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah, I think he'll be next season. I think he'll be very highly owned. I'll come to you for our last question. I think we're on with Blue Nix 99, Becky. Are any mid-price forwards going to fire for the remainder of the season? So the forward line slim pickings, like we saw your wild draft, Kane's in there, and then it's sort of budget picks in Weghorst and Broyo, Mateta's in the thinking. That price band of 7.5-ish, the likes of Jimenez, slim pickings. Is there any you would back? The Aston Villa boys, maybe, or
Calvert-Lewin.
Ivan Toney. I'm not sure quite where his price point is, but I feel Ivan Toney might be a fair shout between now until the end of the season. Where's he at, Gianni?
Yeah, he's 6.7, so he's just about in that mid-bracket.
Yeah, I'd take him.
Eriksen in the team massively helps Tony. I think with Eriksen in the team, you've got someone that's going to provide a little bit of service. Guys, thank you very much for watching so far. I mean, look, tonight we've done our predictions. We've done top four. The big headlines from that, by the way, is Becky's backing Everton to go down. Dean and I are thinking Burnley. These guys are going for Arsenal top four. I've gone Spurs. Dean thinks Liverpool are going to win the league. Becky and I think City will. And look, we all think Trent for the golden assist boot. Maybe Robbo if he's injured on Becky's part. And look, of course, we think Salah for the golden boot. But guys, if you could just like the channel, please do. Please subscribe as well. And look, drop your comments in. We'll be reading them later. Becky, you'll be updating us with your wildcard team on Twitter, I expect, in the next few days, right?
I will do. I promise. Yes, I'll tweet that out for sure.
Good stuff. Thanks for coming on, Becky. Have you enjoyed it tonight?
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Really enjoyed it. It's just been fun to just chat football and FPL and stuff like this. It's great.
You are welcome anytime. Thank you for coming. And Dean, thank you for going easy on me and not bringing up last night, because I did.
I was only because I forgot, mate. I wanted to bring it up.
Fortunately, that'll be old news when we're back. Of course,
I can't say too much. He beat us in the Euros. What can I do?
That was my get out this morning when I did a little vid. Yeah, an emotional video.
You won the Euros, mate.
Exactly. Those memories will stay with me for life. So I don't care that we're not in Qatar. Whatever. Who cares about that? Guys, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe on your way out. And look, we'll be back same time next Friday at 7. But before then, we'll be back Monday at 7. Thank you, guys. You've been watching Chasing Green Arrows. She's been Becky. He's been Dean. I've been Gianni. Good night.